Facts.
The first
It's like
race
refreshing to hear
against
someone.
a transgender athlete was during my freshman year. And once the gun went off, the two transgender athletes took off flying and left all of us girls in the dust. Throughout all 4 years of high school, I was forced to compete against biological males. I only competed against them in the sprinting events, but I raced against these athletes over a dozen times throughout the years, and every single time I lost.
Did they inch you out of medals that you would have won otherwise, or trophies you would have won?
They beat me out by 20 meters out of medals, and qualifying spots. I missed out on qualifying for New England's. I had to go in the long jump and the 4x200 meter relay, so I was forced on the sidelines in my own event, and if they were not there, I would have been able to qualify. So I missed out on so much throughout my high school career.
Did they win all the events or almost all the events?
Between the two of them, they won every single event they competed in.
How does that feel?
It is so frustrating and heartbreaking because we elite female athletes train so hard to shave just fractions of a second off of our time. And going into races knowing that we will never be able to win.
Feels like all that work gone to waste?
It does. After so many losses, it just gets to the point of, why am I even doing this? Why am I keep training so hard and sacrificing so much just to place third and beyond?
That's pissing me off.
Case in Connecticut, there were two male track runners,
They were
transition,
trans girls.
right, and who decided that they were going to race against the girls. And you look at those individuals, you look at their times against the men, against the boys, and they were kind of middle of the pack.
Doesn't matter. They feel like
And then they're
women,
racing the girls,
so
and they're
they can just
first and
That's what
second
they
place.
said.
Is that indicative of some kind of unfair advantage that those individuals might have against the girls?
No.
No, it's not indicative of an unfair advantage. And I think part of the proof of this is that more transgender girls are coming out in high school and still playing sports. And they're not winning. You know, the Connecticut case is the exception. It got a lot of attention because those two trans girls performed well. But there are many, many more trans girls competing in sports, and they don't excel.
Yeah, we
because
could
I
at the
need
end
to
of-
see these fucking stats unless they just fucking super
Trash. It's like a complete unfit person that's getting into sports. Then yeah, I'd see how, like, if a dude that's never lifted a weight in his life, I might be able to lift more weight than him just because I've been training for years. So I see how that could be a thing.
Today, whether or not you win a game is not is about how hard you work in your practice, and most of us aren't going to win, and that goes for transgender athletes too.
No, it doesn't.
Let's go.
I'm so glad they overturned that bullshit.
Yeah, like, I'm just glad the
Starting to wake the fuck up.
numbers are out.
Look at that. Look at that.
The norm is that transgender youth don't win that much in sports games.
Alana McLaughlin was very appreciative for Provost to take this fight.
That was so sad. She was giving that
but she got a
fucking
couple
trans
punches
the
in.
business.
It
Still
is
lost.
very much the exception when a transgender young person does win.
And that's a tap.
And it's because there's not really an advantage to confirm. Only a few people are going to lead the pack.
Get the fuck out of
There are
here.
some slight differences,
great
but does
editing.
it translate to a competitive advantage? I think you'd be very hard pressed to prove that.
Oh my god.
I don't know how they, like, how you,
God,
they're
they
not in
just-
denial. They just keep reinforcing the
Pushing
stupid ass
this-
agenda.
Right, and it's, oh my god, is this making me tight? That's crazy. Like, you could be an infant. Can fucking use their common sense to understand that. Just the physical size, I would be hot. I was in a fight or a race or anything physical, and my opponent is double my size, like, or 50% my height.
Fucking stupid, man. And like the audacity of these motherfuckers just think everybody just stupid. You know what I'm saying? Like,
To believe this.
We're gonna believe that. Well, so what we're seeing is not really happening. You know what I mean? We'll take your word for it. Nah, motherfucker, y'all just out here fucking shit up for everybody.
No, they don't have any advantages.
And everybody doesn't win all the time.
They work harder. They don't. It's their training.
They're living their truth. That's all that matters. Fuck out of here. Fucking up everybody else's real truth. The reality of it is you are fucking up opportunities for everybody else just to accommodate your fucking feelings when your ass should be over there competing with your fucking sex assigned at birth. Or have trans versus trans.
Boom.
If there was a big advantage to being transgender in sports, then we would see transgender women totally dominate.
And over the last half of the pool, nobody will touch Leah Thomas.
See the fucking...
I love how he did this compilation.
Man.
Leah Thomas in the fucking fight has so much
Transgender
fucking
swimmer
media
Leah
coverage.
Thomas breaking barriers and records. But in a new article, Sports Illustrated calls the college senior the most controversial athlete in America.
Leah obviously helps us do better, right? Leah's swimming really fast. Leah's performance helps the University of Pennsylvania swim team. The feeling of winning doesn't feel as good anymore because it feels tainted. There was a lot of things you couldn't talk about that were very concerning, like a locker room situation. If you even brought up concerns about it, you were transphobic. If you even bring up the fact that Leah's swimming might not be fair, you were immediately shut down as being fucking called bullies, a hateful person or transphobic.
There's never any conversation. The coaches don't
fucking power.
Sit everyone down and acknowledge what everyone's really upset about.
So Cant actually brought in people high up in the athletic department to talk to us. They brought in someone from like the LGBTQ center. They brought in someone from the psychological services.
So you're upset about what's happening, and so you need psychological help.
Yeah, and they told us in this meeting, they said, look, we understand there's an array of emotions, but Leah's swimming is a non-negotiable. However, we can help you make that okay. That's what we're here for.
That's crazy. It was just about...
Why did you decide that you can't have your face out there saying
least backlash from everyone else as possible? They brought in psychologists to make people shut up.
Well, but why though? Why are they giving this group so much fucking power? Like, what's the goal?
The school, I think for them, like it was about like the money.
I'm talking about in general.
Getting the notoriety.
I'm talking about the bigger picture. Like they're like it's a protected group. They can't fucking touch them at all.
Because they want kids to be confused and be depressed, and then Big Pharma can sell them all the drugs to make it better. Yeah. And then when people are confused and depressed, you can control them because they don't use common sense. They're not using their brain.
Yeah.
Easier to control. And then easier to keep them sick, so then you can sell them drugs. I don't know.
Made it pretty clear that
it definitely makes sense.
Because it like, somebody told me that and I was like, oh, because same thing. My question was like, why? Why are they pushing this on kids? Why are they pushing this on kids? This makes no sense. But then it's always money and power. That is always the answer.
Yeah.
And you get all these people, you know, now the state is paying for sex surgeries. Now you got hormone therapy.
You always got to trace it back to the dollar. It's always not about the dollar.
Always. And it's messing people up. But guess what? It's creating money.
Yeah.
And it's creating power.
Yeah.
If you speak up about it and you say anything negative, that like your life will be over in some way. Like you'll be blasted all over the internet as a transphobe if you come out, and then you'll never be able to get a job. Like anyone who wants to hire you will look you up.
There is no power.
That word don't bother me at all. No fucking. They throw that word off every goddamn thing.
You're seeking the truth. You're a transphobe.
Yeah. All right, whatever. Fuck it. I'll be that shit.
And your life will be over.
Let's say that I identified as a woman tomorrow, and I wanted to go into the same locker room where you are. Should I be allowed to do that? As long as I identify that way?
I don't know. I just feel that other women would be uncomfortable by you walking in there.
Ella dice que qué tú piensas acerca de que los hombres que son transexuales usen baños de mujeres. ¿Tú crees que está bien?
No.
Pero dilo.
No, porque tienen ver.
Controversy at a health club in Koreatown over the issue of gender.
That's right. Video of spa goers complaining was posted on social media.
I just want to be clear with you. It's okay for a man to go into the women's section, show his penis around the other women, young little girls underage. Your spa, we spa, condone that. Is that what you're saying? Like I asked. It's so he can stay there. He can stay there? What sexual orientation? I see a dick.
Police identified the person involved as 52-year-old Darren Morager of Riverside County. Morager
This was the
listed as
best
registered
video,
sex
man.
offender
That
since
woman.
2006.
She
now
wasn't fucking
faces
around.
felony counts of indecent exposure.
Hello, I'm Congressman Mark Takano. Trans Month of Visibility is a time to recognize the strength, diversity, and resiliency of the transgender community. Together, we can make our country and our world a more accepting place by speaking out against transphobia at the source and supporting the trans community by getting the Equality Act signed into law.
Congressman, thank you for being here. Thanks for joining us. You are the first member of Congress who's a member of the LGBT community and also a person of Asian descent. You're also a big proponent of the Equality Act.
Yes.
What is the Equality Act? If you were to just summarize it very briefly, I know it does a lot.
The most simplest way to talk about the Equality Act is that it simply amends the 1964 Civil Rights Act to include sexual orientation and gender identity. So public accommodations is one area.
What's a way that someone who's LGBT could be discriminated in public accommodations currently?
Currently, public accommodations is the whole area of, hotels and motels and
bathrooms and sports teams. Is that?
I say bathrooms, sports teams, athletic events.
Let's get into more specific policy issues. There are some women who say, and I've talked to a few who say this. They say, hey, I'd like some privacy in the bathroom. I'd prefer not to encounter naked penises, frankly. They say even that the penis is a telltale sign that someone is a male. I mean, there are people who kind of really bought into the rumor that only men have penises. What? How do we account for that? How do you respond to that?
He's not gonna respond.
Well,
You don't know. I don't understand the question.
He know.
Well, what I would say is that most transgender people that I know, and it's a very, I think, distinct minority of people. Get to the point, it is a very, I think, we're talking not about a lot of people. I think a person who wants to use a woman's bathroom, who identifies as transgender, really does think of themselves as a female. So how we go about trying to, respect their basic right to live, I think will be an important part of this law.
They don't answer any question.
Bathrooms. Well, wait a minute. Bathrooms are, where you want to take this conversation instead of the basic right to just life.
Bitch, he brought up public accommodations. That came out of his mouth first, and then.
But it don't matter. Yeah, like why can't we talk about bathrooms?
But he brought it up. He brought up public accommodations. So now since he can't answer the question, he gonna fucking move the goalpost and talk about some other shit that's more important than the fucking.
Now where they're just being denied life.
Yeah.
Just. That's where they take it. They always just take it from here to here.
Yeah,
they don't tie any knots. It's just all floating in the universe.
I can't answer that question, so I'm going to turn this around, flip it on you to make you feel, demonize you for fucking
asking a question. Basic, easy question.
Is something that I'm kind of mystified that you're kind of not focusing on first. That we're going straight to the controversy over bathrooms.
You brought it up though, fool.
So you know what? I think this interview is over. I think this interview is over.
I just had one last question.
The interview's over.
We want to know what is a woman?
Please turn off the cameras.
Excuse me. So we're going to end the interview. If you guys could please pack up and return the office exactly.
I just wanted to know. I came all this way to know what. They're fair question. I just wanted to know what is a woman.
And you're not going to find out.
And you're not going to find out.
All right, I'll stop it there, baby.
You knew he was going to end the interview. This.
Fucking crazy.
That's whack. Matt,
whack as fuck.
You're the real MVP for putting this together, and I can't wait to see the rest.
Of it. There you go. We'll continue this another time. This bitch getting long.
Nah, we about to watch the rest of it.